What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we're going to be flying the PMDG 737 from San Diego to San Francisco, I believe. Yeah, San Francisco. We're doing live weather. We have the time. I set the time back just a little bit. So we'll be flying into San Francisco probably around sunset, maybe shortly after sunset. But everything else is live. Even the flight that I'm doing is actually a flight. If you want to look it up on FlightAware, it is United Airlines flight number 651. And you can actually find the flight that I'm flying and see the flight path and everything and all the information on it. This is going to be our route right here. We're pretty much going to be going up the coastline, flying over Los Angeles, over Santa Barbara, and over Santa Cruz, and then right into San Francisco. Should be a pretty easy flight. I haven't done anything in the plane as usual, so we'll jump inside the plane and we'll start with our pre-flight checklist. First thing we have to do is make sure our park and brake is set. We'll go overhead to the overhead panel here and we'll get our battery toggled on. Our electric hydraulic pumps can come on, and our ground power we can connect to. So we're now on the ground power. Our landing gear lever's down. Let's do our APU and fire warning checks here. So we will turn this to the left. Make sure the lights light up, and we'll switch this to the right. And I believe I can turn this off up here. There we go. There's also a light test here. And I don't remember what that's for. I don't know if that's just a light test or what. I was also saw online that there was some other tests up here. So stall warning test and Mach speed indicators. I believe there was a flaps test. So there's a couple different tests we could do. I'm still learning how to do a lot of the stuff on here, so forgive me if there's some things that I skip, but that's because I'm still trying to figure it all out. So we'll do position lights and wing lights. We'll move down here. Position lights are on. We'll get our wing lights turned on. Our engine bleed switches are on already. Our IRSs will get set to nav. There we go. Our yaw damper, we'll turn that on in a minute. Our emergency exit lights, no smoking, and seatbelt signs can come on. Our flap lever's up. Our speed brake lever's down. Our galley switch right here is on. Our window heats can come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our probe heats can stay off for now, and we are ready to jump in here and start programming the plane. So we'll go to FS actions and we'll go to payload first. Our zero fuel weight today is 113.3. So we'll go 113.3, and we'll go ahead and drop that in there. We'll return and we'll go to our fuel. Our block fuel today is 13,517. 13,517, and we'll drop that in there. And that is all our fuel information. So go back to the main menu. We'll go FMC. We'll go to position in it. We are starting out at KSAN. KSAN. So we'll drop that in here as reference, and we'll jump over here. We'll grab this. We'll go back. We'll drop it here, and we'll head to route. So where's K? Where am I? There it is. KSAN. Oh, it's already in there. To KSFO. All right. Our flight number today, like I said, is UAL. United Airlines is 651. UAL 651. We'll drop that in there, and we will start our flight plan. Pretty simple flight plan, just a couple waypoints here. We do have a departure and we do have an arrival. So we'll start at IK, and then we're doing a bunch of directs and then our arrivals. So let's get that stuff put in. So IKAYE. IKAYE. We'll go here, and then we're going to RIZIN. RIZIN. Drop that in there. To Splint SPLNT. SPLNT. Drop that in there. Move over on the screen. Stoked STOKD. STOKD. And then to Surfer SERFR. SERFR. There we are. And that's basically our flight plan. So we'll go ahead and head over to our departure and arrival. Our departure today is runway 27. And the parts are the, I don't know, the, hold on, I don't know how to say it. This one, Patters 2. And then the, are we doing a transition? Yeah, IK transition. There we are. So we'll go departure, arrival. We'll go to arrival. Our arrival is going to be runway ILS 28 left. So we'll go 28 left. Surfer 4 is going to be our star. Surfer 4. Our transition is going to be Surfer if it's on here. I don't think there is. I guess not. I guess we're not doing a transition today. So that's going to be our route. So we'll head back to route. We'll go to activate and we'll go to execute. Let's jump up here. We're going to move this out of the way here for now. And we'll switch this over to plan mode. We'll go to legs and we'll step through our flight plan, make sure everything looks right. So we will depart. We will follow our departure. We'll get to Eddy. Once we get to Eddy, we will, I guess you would normally get a vector there, but we'll go ahead and drop that in there. So there we are. So instead of doing ATC, we're just going to do direct to. And everything looks fine there. Let me just zoom in on this for a second. Yeah, okay, I was just making sure. All right, so everything there looks good. So we have a little bit more information we have to do. Actually, I was going to pull that over, but let's go to our init ref. Our cruise altitude today is 340. So go ahead and put that in there. Our cruise wind, let's find out. At flight level 340, we're looking at 352,011. So 352,011. We'll drop that in there. Our zero fuel weight, again, I think it was 113.3. 113.3. We'll drop that in there. I think we only did 1,000 in reserves this time. Cost index 3.5. Execute. Last time we forgot to hit that execute, and that was because of that we weren't able to go into, I think it was VNAV. So we'll head over here. We're going to do takeoff configuration 1. We'll go to takeoff. Our flaps are going to be set to 5, and our trim will have to be 5.5. We're going to go to the second page here. Let's get our information for here, our MEDAR. Unselect here. So we're looking at 260 at 6 knots. So 260 at 006 is runway wind. We'll put that in there. So we'll go back here, and our trim stays the same. Our altimeter here is 2982. So we'll get our V speeds in here. And while we're here, we'll get our altimeter set 2982. There we are. Head back down here, make sure everything looks good. I think it does. I don't think we need to put anything else in. I'm not sure what plan fuel. I'm not sure what goes there, if I'm being honest. So I'll have to figure that out. I'll look that up and hopefully know next time what's supposed to be there. But I think we are all good as far as our FMC goes, which means we can do our before start checks. Actually, no, before we do that, we have to do our arrival information, or runway 28 left, open chart, approach, runway 28 left. All right, so our ILS frequency, our final approach course, our airport altitude, and our barometer. So ILS, so we're looking at 200 on radio. We're gonna try and do it on radio today. I haven't been able to get the auto landing to work right. It's still something I'm trying to learn and figure out. But I think the last time it would have worked if I had it on radio instead of baro. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We're going to give it a try today, though. We'll see if we can get that working. So first off, our radio information is 109.55. So we'll go ahead and put that in. We'll switch this over. 109.55. Do the same thing here. 109.55. That is going to be our localizer. Our final approach course is going to be 284. Course. Here we are. So 284, and we'll set it on both of these. There we are. Final approach course, our airport elevation is 13, so we don't have to do anything with that. But our approach is going to be 200. So we're going to switch this. How do we switch this? There we go. Switch this, and we'll set it to 200. All right, so we'll leave that on radio. That is what we want for now. So we are not flying with ATC, so we don't have to necessarily put in our altitude, but we're going to put it right up to, what was it, 340, and it will follow the constraints of the departure. So we'll do 340. There we are. All right, with all that being done, I think we're ready for our before start checks. So our FMC is programmed. Our flight directors, we can get 1 and 2 turned on here. Flight directors, our auto throttle switch can stay off. Our IAS Mach indicator, which I forget what our departure was. I don't remember where that was actually. Oh, here we go. So 133. So we'll go back to legs. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. We'll come up here. We'll at least set this to 133. There we are. And let's see what else. We got altitude selector. We have that set. Autopilot disengage bar is up. Thrust levers are idle. Stabilizer trim was 5.5. So go ahead and get that set. Say that's about 5.5 there. All right, our auto brakes need to be set to RTO. We'll go ahead and get that set. I'm gonna get our main panel lights on just a little bit here. APU, jump overhead here. We'll get our APU going. So we'll turn that to on and then start. And our APU bleed switch can come on. And as soon as we can, we'll get our APU generator switched on. But for now, we'll go down to our transponder here, and we'll do a test on it, and we'll set it to standby. So standby, and did I hit it? I think so. Yeah, I did. Okay, so it's running that test now. So we're just waiting for our APU to come up. We'll go on our APU power. We'll get rid of our wheel chocks and the ground power unit. So we'll head back over top here. As soon as the APU says that it's available, we'll go right on those generators, which it should be soon. You can see this coming down once it stabilizes around 4,000, or I think it's 4,000. Then we should be good to go. Oh, let's head back over top here. So this light right here, we'll click on. There it goes. So we'll go ahead and go on our APU. So we're on our APU generators. We'll go into here. We'll go menu, FS actions, ground services, release, and remove the wheel chocks. All right, we got any warnings here? Yeah, some, because we're not started up yet. We should be able to get our yaw damper on now. I believe it'll stay on. Yeah, there it goes. We have to set our altitude up to 34,000. We don't have to do anything with our landing altitude. What tanks are we using today? So we're only using our outer tanks. We're not using our inner tank or our middle tank. All right, so we'll go to the overhead panel and we'll do, or no, I'm sorry. We are ready for pushback actually. So we'll go here. Let's get into these wing views. See a plane coming in there. That's pretty cool. I guess they just arrived. I also have, if you guys enjoyed this view better, let me know in the comments instead of doing a wing view for the time lapse. I think that view is better personally. So let's take a look at the map here and see where we are on the taxiway, or which taxiway we need to go. And we're departing runway 27, so it's down there. We need to back out and take Bravo all the way down to, I guess, Charlie 3 right here. I don't think we get on all the way down here. I believe we get on right here. Aircraft with wingspans greater than 171. Oh, I guess not. I guess we go all the way down. I'm not sure. I guess we'll go all the way down and we'll get on right here. But I feel like right there, maybe that's their touchdown point. I'm not 100% sure. But all right, we need to bag out and take Bravo, which is to our right. So let me move this back over here. We are ready for pushback. We'll call for our tug. So we'll get him coming over here. We'll go ahead and we'll do our right generator switch today, or ignition switch today. And we'll set this to engine. We'll get our left engine going. All right, there we go. We'll feed it some fuel. That engine's coming up. There we are. I don't know why I just grabbed like that. All right. Left engine is almost up, and we'll get our right engine started here in a minute. All right, we'll go ahead and get our left engine started. Looking for 18, and we'll feed it fuel. There we go. Give it some fuel. Take a look out the window here. We'll keep pushing back to this line here. That's probably about good where we are. So we can go ahead and call him off. Come on, shift P. Bye-bye. All right, put our brake on. Oh, you know what? I didn't even turn the pumps on. Whoops. Luckily, we were able to get it started, but I don't think you would have actually been able to start that. The only thing I forgot to do was turn the fuel pumps on. And anti-collision lights needed to come on as well. I don't know why I didn't see that on my other screen here. I didn't see my before pushback checks. So, whoops. That's okay. We're fine. Both engines are up, so we'll go ahead and go to the overhead panel. And we will do engine generator switches 1 and 2. So we're now on our engine generators. Our APU bleed switch can come off. Our isolation valve can be set to auto. Our packs can be set to auto. Probe heats 1 and 2 can come on. APU can come off. We do everything? Yeah, okay. And then our transponder and our taxi clearances. Transponder we will set to TARA. There we are. And we'll do a recall here. Everything looks fine. All right, before taxi, parking brakes will come off, taxi lights on. Turn taxi light on. Runway turn off lights on. 1 and 2. And flaps set and flight controls checked. So we'll go flaps 5. 1, 2, 3. See our flaps extending there. Looks like we have some traffic coming in here. I did turn on real world traffic, so I'm not sure if we're just going to be like ghosting through each other here or what, but this is real world traffic. I don't know where he's going. I hope he doesn't just drive right up through me. Looks like he might be going to this gate behind me. But yeah, we do have real world traffic on, which I didn't in any of my other videos. So we can go ahead and take the parking brake off. And we can give it some throttle. Get her turned around, jump on Bravo, and take Bravo all the way down to the runway. We're just about ready for departure here. You can see the sun is low on the horizon up there, or coming towards the horizon, so it will be sunset. I believe the sun will be below the horizon by the time we land. So we'll start out in the daytime. We'll probably land at dusk or shortly after sunset. We're looking at about 1 hour and 10 minutes airtime, which isn't too bad. Obviously, you guys will see a time lapse of that, so we'll get that going pretty quick for you. All right, so we're gonna take Bravo, which I believe is this right here. So we'll take this all the way around, and then we'll take it all the way down, and we will be ready for departure. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit that like button. If there's somewhere you want me to fly, let me know. I am still working on getting my feet wet with VATSIM and getting live ATC. I'm also flying smaller airplanes because I want to get used to them and do smaller flights to smaller airports, a little more scenic stuff, instead of just doing the airliners. I also was thinking about doing some helicopter tours of different cities and different areas. So I may have that coming pretty soon too. The H-135 is the helicopter I like to use, so I think that would make for some pretty cool videos. We'll try and get our speed up to about, I don't know, like I said, I didn't even look it up, what my taxi speed is. I think it's 15 or 20, so we're gonna push it up to about 20 for the sake of not being too boring, just taxiing. There we are. There's the airport. I do have the scenery for this airport. I think for both airports, actually, that one we're leaving and the one we're coming to. Get back on that line. San Diego and San Francisco, I believe I have the sceneries for. It's getting a little hazy out here. This should be a pretty quick, smooth departure here. Usually is. There's a Southwest right there. Just hanging out over there. We're crossing over. This is Bravo 6 right here. We're looking for Bravo 1. And we'll take it all the way down to the end of the runway. Looks like there's a gas truck right there. Looks like there's a tug right there. Just random ground graphics and stuff. This is Bravo 5. We're about to pass here. Just keep on taxiing down. Oh, page just changed a little bit. We'll get these lights on just a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be dark when we're landing. I'm almost positive it's going to be dark when we're landing. So I want to have all these lights already set up. All right, coming up on Bravo 4 here. And we're headed to Bravo 1. There's a parking lot out there. Give it a little more throttle here. So for me, it's saying because I have such a large wingspan that I have to take the Delta taxiway up here to the right and take that around to Bravo 1. Actually, I think I can just go straight here. Yeah, we'll just keep taxiing straight down here. I think that's for the aircraft that are crossing the runway, so because they can't make like such a sharp turn onto this one maybe. But we're gonna take this straight down here, and we'll be lined up on the runway down here in just a minute. We'll hold short and do our final checks, before takeoff checks. Yeah, I think we were supposed to get on at the last taxiway, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe this is right. We'll see. All right, we're gonna hold short here for a second. We'll put our brake on. Our before takeoff checks. First thing we need to do is get our auto throttle armed. Our engine start switch is set to continuous. Our master caution recall. We're good. Our transponder is set, our landing lights can come on, and our strobe lights are already set. So we'll go ahead and release the brake here. We'll pull out onto the runway. We'll get lined up, and we're about ready for departure here. There we are. We'll make this sharp left turn here. All right, we overshot it a little bit there. All right, we are lined up and we are good to go. So we're gonna hit our toga button and we are gonna listen for our rotate speeds and we're gonna get out of here. Give a little bit of left rudder. Try and hold that center line. Cross checked. V1. Rotate. Rotating. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Climbing very well here. We get our flaps up to 1. Continue climbing through these clouds here. And nose down just to get our speeds up. Yeah, we could bring our nose way down here. All right, and we'll go ahead and bring our flaps all the way in. We'll go VNav, LNav, and we'll go ahead and activate our autopilot. There we are. Looking pretty good so far. We'll pull this down to the off position. There's a wing view. Not a bad departure. Not much to see out the window because we're kind of in that haze, hoping we'll break out of that soon. We'll set this back to map mode instead of plan mode. And we'll zoom this in here. Our after takeoff checks, our landing gear's up, our flaps are up, our taxi light switches can come off. Autopilot as required and auto brake set to off. We'll leave that there for now. Still not much to see out the window here. Pretty good departure there. I certainly don't have any complaints. We're about to get above these clouds or this haze. Pretty low ceiling to it. There we are. Look how beautiful that is. You see the mountains out there off the wing? Wow, that looks really good. Beautiful. And this is going to be your time-lapse view. So once we do our time-lapse, I think that'll make for a really cool view. Let's take a look. We're crossing through 5,200 now. We're looking for 3,400 or 34,000, 340. At 10,000, we'll do our climb checks. And at 18,000, I'll stay with you guys until about 18,000. Once we hit that, I'm going to go into the time-lapse mode. Man, that looks so beautiful out there. The clouds look so good. The mountains look so good out there. I really, really enjoyed that departure. Very, very nice departure. Yeah, I like that. Coming up through 7,500. And at 10,000, we will do our climb checks. We're almost there. It'll just be very simple. Landing lights off, engine start switches to off, and seatbelt signs. We can toggle them off as well. What a great time to fly. I only set the time back about an hour from real time. Just that way I wasn't taking off in, like, you know, complete darkness. Here we are coming up on our 10,000. We're crossing through 9,500 now. So we can do our climb check. So our landing lights, we can toggle those off. Our engines can be set to off instead of continuous. And we'll go ahead and toggle off our seatbelts. So we no longer require the seatbelts. Really, really enjoy flying this plane. Yeah, so the last time that we did a flight, we were having some issues with, set this back to legs. We were having some issues with our VNav, which again, we got toggled out of VNav there. We were having issues with our VNav, and I looked it up, and it said when we were doing our performance information, our performance in it, that I didn't hit execute. And I went back and looked at the video, and I didn't hit execute at that point, which is the reason why I was not able to go into VNav. So learned something new last flight. Also, so I have both navs set for the ILS frequency. I have the course on left and right side, and I also have the radio set to 200 instead of the barrel. So I'm hoping that that's what I need in order to do the Cat 3 landing, because I don't think I've successfully gone into a Cat 3 landing. I think I've just been in, you know, basic ILS landings. So I would really like to figure out how to actually do the Cat 3. But yeah, so I don't know what the deal was with that. I think it's just obviously something I was doing wrong, or maybe it's not bugged, because I saw other people doing Cat 3 landings. So it's definitely a user error or pilot error. But we'll see if it fixed today. If not, we'll just toggle it off and hand fly it. And who knows, maybe we'll end up hand flying it in anyway. So we will see. Coming up on 15,500. Very beautiful clouds out the window. You can see the ocean out there. We're actually over the ocean. If you look at our route right here, you can see that we're obviously already over the ocean, so that's pretty cool. Not that long of a flight. It's actually a pretty simple flight. Coming up on 17,000 here, so in just a minute we'll go ahead and toggle our barometer into standard mode, and we'll start our time lapse. So 17,500. We'll go ahead and toggle this into standard mode. There we are, and everything looks good. There we are, making our right turn on the course. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the front view, and we'll start our time lapse. I will see you guys once we are closer to the descent. Back. We are climbing down through 25,000. We are on our descent into San Francisco. Flight went pretty well. A little bit of turbulence out there, nothing too bad. Pretty clear, a little bit of overcast going on. We are on our descent. We're coming down to 18,000. Well, once we're down at 18,000, we're gonna do our descent checks, which are pretty simple, but it was a very beautiful flight. I think we're gonna have a pretty nice approach as well. Looking out the window, you can see the mountains out there. You can see out pretty far. There's a little bit of haze, but beautiful, beautiful flight. Off to our left here, not too much to see. You can see a little bit of the coastline, and then just clouds out there. So I guess we ended up landing or coming in before the sun broke below that horizon, which I didn't think we were going to do. I thought we were going to be landing in the dark or close to the dark. I think we're actually going to be landing before that sun breaks down below that horizon. We're coming up on our next waypoint here, which will start a slight right turn. Our altitude is coming down pretty quickly to try and follow that descent path. Looks like so far we're perfectly on our descent path, as indicated here and as indicated here. Looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and do our altimeter now. So our altimeter is 2990. So we'll turn this on and we'll just toggle that down to 2990. We can go ahead and start our descent checks, which is seatbelt signs. We can go ahead and turn them on. I think normally we would probably turn them on once we're a little bit closer, like maybe 10,000, but I'll likely forget. So we're just going to tell them to put it on now. Air conditioning and pressures, we can check. Everything looks good there. What else we need? Air conditioning, wing anti-ice, we don't need that. Transition altitude we just did. ATIS we've obtained. Engine start switches can be set to continuous. And we have to set the FMC for arrival. So let's see, clear out of that. We're gonna do 30 degrees at 130 knots. We'll go ahead and drop that in there. So we're going to be landing at about 135 knots. So we'll go ahead and go to legs. Let's check our speeds here, see if any of our speeds are having issues, which it said it was. So once we get down a little bit further, we'll manually manage our speeds. Unable 280 knots at epic. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. We'll clear that out, which we're at 280. I don't know why it's saying unable to do that when that's exactly what we're doing here. But after that, we're going to slow down to 240 anyway, so that is perfectly fine. If we have any issues with the speed, we'll just go into manual mode and control it ourselves. Let's go into the... man, this wing view just looks so nice. See the coastline off to the right there. It looks so beautiful. Let's go and take a look here, because we have to set our altitudes for the runway. Runway 28 left. We'll go approach 28 left. So we're going to set it down to 1800. That is where we're going to intercept our ILS. 1800. So let's jump over here. Let's take this down. 1800. There we are. So that'll take us all the way down to 1800, and then we should be able to get locked onto our localizer. Once we hit 10,000, we'll do our approach checks. We don't have to do any of that just yet. Right now, we're just kind of going to cruise down slowly to our altitudes. We're about to come over Santa Cruz now. Just off to the left here is Santa Cruz. Maybe you can see it better in this view. I think down here, right here is Santa Cruz. And we're going to be landing into the sunset. So this might be a really, really pretty approach. So far, it is. It looks really good. We're crossing down below 15,500 now. At our 10,000 mark, we'll do our checks and continue cruising down. We're about 2 nautical miles away from our next waypoint, and hopefully we start slowing down here, because we need to be at 240, I believe. Yeah, 240 by the time we hit that. So our speeds should start descending soon, or coming down soon. We'll see what happens here. No, maybe not yet. We'll keep an eye on them. Maybe they got to be there by Eddie. If our speeds don't come down, we'll just bring them down on our own. But continuing down below 14,200 here. Again, beautiful sunset out the window here. I think if we move up, we can actually see the wing out here. Yeah, a little bit. There it is. A nice wing view. You can see we're getting pretty close. We're getting lower for sure. Nice mountain range out there. Here's where we are on our arrival. Go ahead and show the chart. We are right here. We need to be above 8,000 and at 240 when we hit this waypoint here, which looks like it's following our speeds just the way it's supposed to. Man, it's a really good approach. I'm really enjoying the visuals on this one. Beautiful. Perfect day for flying. All right, about 10, 12 miles out from our next waypoint, which is where we're going to start slowing down. I believe at that we need to be at 8,000, so we can start doing our approach checks. Well, some of them. We'll start with our landing lights. We'll go ahead and toggle those on. Our auto brakes, we're going to set to 2. Our decision height is set. Our master caution, we'll do a recall on it. Everything looks fine. Missed approach altitude, I think once we're on the localizer, we'll set that. Speed brake, we don't have to arm that just yet. Flaps, landing gear, and taxi switches. So some things we can do now and some we're going to do once we're a little bit closer. Flying right over the mountains here. This was a suggested flight in the comments, so very, very good pick. It was a very enjoyable flight, very visually nice. This would be a nice place to fly a smaller plane, like a Cessna or a TBM, which would be really cool to fly a little bit lower over these mountain ranges and stuff and have a better view of them. Maybe even like a helicopter tour around San Francisco or something. I think that would be a really cool flight too. So we just crossed below 10,000. Our speeds are now coming down. We're following our descent path fairly well. Looks like we're starting to lose it a little bit, so we will go ahead and throw in some flaps here to help the plane slow down some. The only reason we lost that descent path as much as we did was because we were trying to slow down, but we'll catch right back up to it. You can see it right here. And our speeds are almost where they're supposed to be, so we should be able to get right back on that descent path. That shouldn't inhibit us too much. There it is. See, it's going to start reversing here in a second. And there we are. Now we are on our way to catching up to that path. We'll keep our speed brakes extended for now, as you can see. Once we get back on that path, we will go ahead and release them, but the slower we're going, the more we can descend and maintain our speed. So that's why we have our speed brakes extended there. Coming down to 8,400. We also have over here, we have flaps, which I didn't notice we had before, you know, our flap limits. So at 195 knots, we can go flaps 5. 170, we can go flaps 25, and so on and so on. So we're going to try and reference that today as we use our flaps. And there we are. We're caught up to our descent path. So we'll go ahead and release our speed brake. There's another window view as we get closer to the ground here. $6,800. It looks like we're going to keep flying straight ahead until we make our left turn at Heman, and that is when I'll probably toggle on our approach mode, try and get locked onto the ILS. I don't think I need to do VOR lock. I think I can just do approach. I'm pretty sure. We'll try it. If not, worst case, we'll just hand fly it back on track. Still a little bit off of that descent path. I'm going to do a little bit of speed brakes just to get us right back onto that. We're not too far off, but I want to get us a little more, there we go, a little more precise. All right, looking at our speeds, we have to be at 173 when we hit Heman, which will allow us to do flaps. Let's see, 170, 25. So we'll bring it down to 170 once we get there, and we'll bring our speeds down Our flaps to 25. Oh, I was like, uh-oh, please don't crash on me. Had a little freeze moment there. We're gonna go into a left wing view because it'll probably be more to see, since it'll just be a water off of our right. There's our speeds coming down now, so we're trying to get slowed down for that waypoint, which is 173. Drag required. So we'll go ahead and add some speed brakes. Give that drag that it's looking for. So far, so good. We'll just keep that drag in there. We should be able to go into approach mode here in a second. We'll go ahead and toggle on approach mode. And we're going to go into speed intervene. And we're going to bring it down to 170 so we can start getting our flaps introduced here. Start getting ourselves down. Landing lights we have on. We'll get our taxi and runway turnoff lights turned on. Our speed brake we're still kind of using. We got to set that back to normal. And we can start introducing flaps. We'll go 1, 2. Well, actually, we got to get our speeds down. So let's keep our speed brakes extended here. Looks like we are locked onto our glide path. Our speeds are still up a little bit high, so we're gonna try and keep getting that down. Our taxi light switches are on. We're working on flaps here. We'll go ahead and drop our gear, even though we would normally drop it a little bit closer, but because we're looking for some drag, we'll drop it now. We want to get it down to 170 here. There's a wing view. There's our speeds coming down pretty good. We'll go ahead and toggle on our second autopilot here.
Traffic.
All right, so we have traffic out in front of us here. Forget which one of these are traffic. Oh, right here. All right, so we got our speeds down. We'll continue down. We can go ahead and get our flaps extended further here. We're looking for 135 on our speeds. We'll start with 138 here, our outer marker there. And we can go full flaps here. So we're fully prepared for landing here. We're fully configured. As you can see, the flaps fully extended there. And we no longer need our speed brakes. So we'll go ahead and turn them off and arm them. Keep bringing our speeds down. 135. Looks like our PAPI lights are good. We have a plane landing on the right runway there. All right, everything seems to be going well so far. We'll go ahead and get our feet on our rudder pedals here. And welcome to San Francisco. There's another wing view. What a beautiful time of day to land. What an absolute perfect landing. I like this. I really like that. Following those PAPI lights perfectly. Our descent's perfect here. We have our radio set to 200. And we have both of our autopilots armed. Very, very nice. All right, this is looking very good so far. We are ready for reverse thrust.
100. 50. 30.
Come on, set down.
20. 10.
And we'll go reverse thrust. And we'll disengage our autopilot. All right, and we will disengage our reverse thrust. And welcome to San Francisco. All right, everything looks good. Let's toggle this off here. And we can get off right here. I thought I had this scenery, but I guess I don't. Sun is right on the horizon there. It looks absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and get ourselves off the runway here, and we will do our after landing checks. Let's give ourselves some throttle so we don't end up stopping right here. Oh, it's like the worst thing you could do. Stop on the runway. Why are we stopped? What's happening here? There we go. I don't know what happened there. All right, we are off the runway. We're just going to taxi to one of these terminals right here, but we have to do our after landing checks first. So we'll stop right here. We'll throw the brakes on real fast. Our landing lights can come off. Strobes, we can leave. Taxi lights on. Flaps, we can bring back to normal. Speed brake lever can go down. Transponder can go to standby. And engine start switches. We'll go back over here. Engine start switches can go to off. Anti-ice we don't need. Stabilizer trims to APU. We can get started. So let's get that going. There we are. APU is started. So we'll go ahead and taxi right on over to a terminal here. Look, there's a plane right there. What is that guy doing? Let's go into this view for a second. All right, so we will make a right here and then a left and go into the terminals pretty much right there in front of us. Hope you guys enjoyed that flight. If you did enjoy that flight, be sure to leave a like. If there's anywhere you guys want me to fly, feel free to let me know and I will try and do so. We're going to take this second taxi line here, if we can slow down here. Here we are. We're going to take that next taxi line to the left, right up to the terminal there. There we are. So I don't think the Cat 3 landing worked that time. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong as far as getting that to function properly, but that's all right. I think we're going to start doing hand fly, just hand fly our landings. We'll go ahead and stop there. It was a little abrupt. All right, our parking check. So our parking brake we just set. Our seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking signs, they can come off as well. APU generator switches, we can come over here. We can go on. 1 and 2. Yeah, I know. APU generator switches on. Fuel cutoff can go on, so we could turn off the engines here. We'll go ahead and toggle all these things off. Ground power we will get established, so we'll jump in here. We'll go menu, FS actions, ground services, set the wheel chocks and request our ground power. We'll go next page. We're going to get a jetway today instead of... Why does that say inhibit? Oh, I guess things have to get connected first. We'll go on ground power here in just a second. There we go. We'll go ahead and request that. No, it's not gonna work today. Request. Nope. Okay, well, that's not gonna work today. We are on ground power, so we'll go overhead here and we'll go ahead and actually go onto the ground power. Yes, I know. Come on, why does it keep doing that? There we go. That keeps toggling itself back on. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but I turned the autopilot off. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. All right, APU bleed switch can come off. APU can come off as well because we are now on the ground power. Yes, let's just making sure we're actually on the ground power. Pack switches left and right set to auto. Engine wing anti-ice we don't need. Probe heats can come off. Window heats can come off. Emergency lights, we'll leave them alone. Fuel pumps can come off for now. Anti-collision lights, wing lights can stay on. We'll turn our logo lights on and our wheel well lights on. IRS can come off. And that is everything. Now, if we were turning the plane off, we would turn batteries and IRSs off and everything, but I'm not going to turn the plane off here. So, oh, we can get our taxi lights off as well. So welcome to San Francisco. I hope you guys enjoyed that flight, and I will catch you guys on the next flight.